When you think of the 1965 Chevrolet Impala SS, visions of big block engines, sweeping lines, and classic American muscle probably come to mind. But beneath the iconic exterior lies a treasure trove of unexpected quirks and hidden details that even die-hard enthusiasts might overlook. From tiny interior components to curious production choices, the Supersport was full of surprises that went far beyond horsepower or style. Some facts challenge what we assume about affordability, design priorities, and factory precision. Others reveal how small decisions shaped the car's legacy, proving that the 1965 Impala SS was as fascinating in subtlety as it was in speed. Small-town dealer origins. Every classic car has an origin story, but tracing a vehicle back to its exact moment of delivery changes how we view it. For one particular documented 1965 Impala SS, that journey began far away from the bright lights of a major metropolis. This Supersport was first delivered to Shoemaker Chevrolet in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. While Sunbury might not sound like a hotbed for high-performance muscle, this location offers a fascinating glimpse into the reach of Chevrolet's dealer network during the 60s. The 1965 Impala was the first car in the United States to sell more than 1 million units in a single year. With such massive production numbers, individual cars usually get lost in the crowd, becoming just another statistic. That is what makes this Pennsylvania connection so significant. Knowing this specific coupe rolled off the truck at a local, small-town dealer establishes a clear pedigree. It transforms a mass-produced machine into a unique artifact with a traceable lineage. This provenance is backed by original documentation, such as the Protecta plate, which collectors prize above almost anything else. It serves as a birth certificate that anchors the car to Shoemaker Chevrolet. This detail reminds us that these legendary vehicles did not just appear out of thin air. They were ordered, prepped, and handed over to their first excitement-filled owners by local businesses that helped build the muscle car culture we celebrate today. Modern grip for classic muscle. Most enthusiasts picture a stock 1965 Impala rolling on modest 14-inch steel wheels wrapped in tall, skinny white walls. That was the standard layout for the era, designed to deliver a soft and floaty ride. However, driving a classic on modern highways often demands a radical departure from those factory specifications. This specific Impala SS demonstrates just how drastic that evolution can be by utilizing 18-inch Vision Wheel Legend Series wheels. The surprise here lies in the aggressive rubber meeting the road. Instead of standard vintage tires, this coupe is fitted with high-performance Kumho Exta tires, featuring a much lower profile than anything available in the mid-60s. The setup creates a staggered footprint, running 245S in the front and massive 265S in the rear. This is a serious modification for a full-size luxury cruiser, as it prioritizes grip over the traditional pillow-soft suspension feel. Using such a low aspect ratio tightens the sidewalls, which significantly reduces tire flex during cornering. This transforms the handling characteristics, making the large chassis feel surprisingly planted and responsive. While the body remains a timeless piece of 60s design, this updated contact patch brings the driving physics into the modern age. It proves that you can maintain the vintage aesthetic while secretly engineering the car to handle with the confidence of a much newer vehicle. Manifold vacuum performance gauge. Inside the 1965 Impala SS, the instrument cluster offered more than just speed readouts. The source notes that the two-spoke steering wheel fronts a horizontal 120 mph speedometer, a manifold vacuum pressure gauge, and a combination gauge for fuel level, oil pressure, coolant temperature, and amperage. While the speedometer naturally draws the eye, the inclusion of a manifold vacuum gauge is a subtle but revealing detail. This gauge measures pressure inside the intake manifold, effectively showing how hard the engine is working at any given moment. When the throttle is mostly closed, vacuum is high, indicating efficient engine operation. When the throttle opens wide, vacuum drops, signaling increased engine load. For everyday drivers, this gauge provided insight into fuel economy and encouraged smoother, more efficient driving. It also offered enthusiasts an immediate analog window into the engine's behavior, allowing them to monitor tuning, throttle response, and overall performance. Positioned alongside other key indicators like oil pressure, coolant temperature, and amperage, the vacuum gauge elevated the Impala SS dashboard from a simple display to a practical tool for managing a powerful full-size car. Its presence highlights Chevrolet's intention to make the SS package more than just a styling upgrade. It was a balanced blend of performance awareness and everyday usability. Delaware built American muscle history. When enthusiasts discuss the golden age of American muscle, the conversation almost exclusively revolves around Detroit. However, the production reality of the record-breaking 1965 Impala SS reveals a much broader industrial footprint. A close inspection of the data plate on this specific supersport uncovers the code BW followed by a unique body unit number. This alphanumeric sequence identifies the car as a direct product of the General Motors assembly plant in Wilmington, Delaware. It is easy to forget that to achieve historic sales figures in 1965, Chevrolet could not rely on a single centralized factory. The company utilized a massive network of regional facilities to satisfy the insatiable public demand. The Wilmington plant was a crucial gear in this machine, ensuring that buyers throughout the East Coast received their high-performance coupes without excessive shipping delays. This specific code further confirms the car was assembled during the second week of May, placing its creation right in the middle of the spring sales rush. Identifying this Delaware lineage adds a layer of distinct history that a general vehicle identification number cannot provide. It transforms the vehicle from a standard General Motors product into a specific example of mid-Atlantic manufacturing. For collectors, spotting that BW code serves as a reminder of just how extensive the Chevrolet empire was at the height of its power, delivering legendary vehicles from corners of the country that are rarely associated with automotive fame. Massive stroker engine upgrade. This 1965 Chevrolet Impala SS is finished in black over black and powered by a replacement 496 CIV8 paired with a TH400 3-speed automatic transmission. The size of this engine immediately sets it apart from any factory configuration. In 1965, the largest official big block offered in the Impala SS was the 396 cubic inch V8, with the rare 409 reserved for high-performance enthusiasts. This 496 cubic inch engine represents a significant departure, achieved by stroking a standard big block to increase displacement and torque dramatically. The spacious engine bay of the Impala SS made it an ideal candidate for such a transformation. Fitting this massive V8 required not only physical space, but also a robust supporting drivetrain, which is why the car is paired with a TH400 automatic, capable of handling the tremendous torque. Additional performance enhancements, like an Edelbrock intake, 4-barrel carburetor, and aluminum cylinder heads, further elevate the engine's output and reliability. This upgrade turns the Impala SS into more than a stylish cruiser. It becomes a serious high-horsepower machine. It highlights the platform's flexibility, demonstrating that the car could accommodate modifications far beyond factory intentions. For collectors and performance enthusiasts, such a heavily modified powertrain redefines the driving experience, blending the classic full-size body with modern muscle car performance levels. The result is a unique interpretation of the Impala SS, bridging vintage aesthetics with extreme engine capability. Hybrid braking for modern safety. Stopping a full-size American classic like the 1965 Impala SS requires serious mechanical force, especially considering the substantial weight of the chassis. In the mid-60s, the factory standard was 4-wheel drum brakes, a system that often struggled with heat and fade during spirited driving. However, many surviving examples today feature a distinct hybrid setup that bridges the gap between vintage engineering and modern safety standards. You will often find these cars equipped with power-assisted front disc brakes, while retaining the original drums in the rear. This specific configuration is a calculated compromise rather than a half-finished job. Since the front brakes manage roughly 70 to 80% of the stopping load due to weight transfer, upgrading the front axle to discs provides a massive increase in safety and heat dissipation. It transforms the braking feel, giving the driver confidence that the car will actually stop in modern traffic. Meanwhile, leaving the drums on the rear axle simplifies the modification process and reduces costs, as the rear brakes do significantly less work. This split system represents a practical evolution in the life of the car, acknowledging that while we love the history of the 1965 model, we prefer the stopping physics of the 21st century. Impala SS's marketing tool. Under the 65's hood lies the premise for why Black Dog Speed took on building a project car. The plan was to drop an LS7 engine with one of its cylinder head and camshaft packages and showcase their wares. This build turns the Impala SS into more than just a restored or customized classic. It becomes a functional marketing platform. The LS7, a modern high-performance small block, provides a solid foundation for demonstrating the capabilities of specialized aftermarket components. Black Dog Speed specifically used this engine to install and highlight their own cylinder head and camshaft packages, proving how their modifications could boost power and efficiency. This approach leverages the iconic status and spacious engine bay of the Impala SS, allowing the car to act as a rolling demonstration of modern performance engineering. Unlike standard restorations that aim to preserve originality, this project prioritizes real-world performance validation. The results speak for themselves. The upgraded LS7, dynoed with 115 more horsepower than a stock example, clearly showcasing the effectiveness of the shop's parts. The car essentially functions as a high-octane business card, turning heads while making a technical statement. Using a full-size classic coupe as a marketing tool is a calculated and rare strategy, merging vintage appeal with cutting-edge performance. Hidden 5-speed transmission. Most people associate the full-size 1965 Impala SS with a relaxed 2-speed Power Glide automatic, designed strictly for effortless boulevard cruising. However, serious performance builds often require a drivetrain that offers far more control and durability. In the case of specific high-horsepower projects like the Black Dog build, the factory gearbox was swapped out for a robust Kiesler TKO 605-speed manual transmission. This is a significant deviation from stock specifications, specifically chosen to manage the immense torque generated by a modern engine swap. The real magic of this setup lies in its versatility. While the car utilizes an aggressive 12-bolt rear end with 3.73 limited slip gears for explosive off-the-line acceleration, the 5-speed transmission includes a crucial overdrive gear. This feature was absent in the factory 4-speed Muncies of the 60s. It allows the driver to enjoy neck-snapping acceleration in the lower gears while still maintaining reasonable engine revolutions at highway speeds. This combination creates a vehicle that dominates the drag strip without sacrificing its ability to cover long distances comfortably. It effectively solves the age-old muscle car problem of having to choose between quick acceleration and highway drivability, proving that a 60-year-old chassis can handle power just as intelligently as a modern sports car. Precision steering for classic giants. Anyone who has driven an original 1965 Impala SS knows the sensation of piloting a boat. The connection to the road often feels distant and vague, a characteristic trait of the factory recirculating ball steering system. While this setup was durable and acceptable for straight-line highway cruising, it suffered from an inherent lack of precision, often leaving a dead spot in the center that forced the driver to make constant corrections just to stay in the lane. To combat this, modern builders frequently perform a radical upgrade by swapping in a rack and pinion steering system. This is not just a minor adjustment, it is a fundamental re-engineering of how the car behaves. Rack and pinion technology offers a linear and direct link to the wheels, instantly removing the slop associated with the vintage gearbox. For a vehicle with the massive footprint of the Impala, gaining this level of control is transformative. It changes the driving dynamic from a loose, floating experience into one that is sharp and responsive. This modification allows the heavy Supersport to attack corners with genuine confidence, reacting to driver inputs with the immediacy of a modern performance car. It demonstrates that the biggest drawback of classic American luxury, the handling, can be completely cured with the right technology. A revolutionary structural foundation. Most admirers focus immediately on the stunning new sheet metal of the 1965 Impala SS, but the real revolution was happening completely out of sight. For nearly a decade leading up to this model, Chevrolet had relied on a distinctive X-frame chassis, a design where the rails crossed in the center of the vehicle. With the introduction of the 65 model, engineers made a decisive break from tradition by abandoning that layout in favor of a full perimeter frame. This was a massive engineering pivot that modernized the entire architecture of the vehicle. This structural shift was essential because the car was physically growing. While the wheelbase remained a standard 119 inches, the overall body stretched to a staggering 213 inches in length. The new perimeter frame moved the heavy steel rails to the outer edges of the car, surrounding the passenger compartment. This provided superior support for the increased size and significantly improved side impact protection. More importantly, this new foundation allowed for the installation of a more sophisticated suspension system, moving the car away from the flexible, floaty feel of the 1950s. The change to a perimeter frame introduced the stable, planted driving dynamics that would define General Motors muscle cars for decades to come. It transformed the Impala SS from a relic of the past into a modern automobile, proving that the most critical updates are often the ones hidden beneath the floorboards. White paint for production speed. Inspecting the engine bay of a highly original 1965 Impala SS often reveals a detail that looks like a mistake to the untrained eye. On the firewall, the Fisher body data plate is frequently covered in a layer of white paint that stands in stark contrast to the satin black surroundings. While a modern restoration might strip this away to make the engine bay look cleaner, that white coating is actually a fascinating fingerprint of the original assembly line process. The factory procedure dictated that the firewall be painted black first. Afterward, workers specifically applied white paint over the stamped metal tag. This was not an aesthetic choice, but a crude, necessary solution to a logistical problem. In 1965, Chevrolet was producing cars at a breakneck pace, and assembly line workers had mere seconds to identify the specific build requirements for each shell moving past them. Reading stamped metal codes against a dark background was inefficient and prone to error. By coating the plate in white, the raised alphanumeric codes, detailing everything from interior trim to production dates, became instantly legible at a glance. This low-tech visual aid ensured that the correct parts were installed on the correct chassis during the chaos of mass production. For historians, this messy patch of paint is a coveted detail. It serves as proof of the human element behind the machine, reminding us that these automotive icons were assembled by real people, working under immense pressure to meet record-breaking demand. Breaking the million-unit barrier. In the modern automotive industry, a best-selling vehicle might move a few 100,000 units if it is lucky. However, the 1965 Impala exists in a league of its own, achieving a sales record that seems almost impossible by today's standards. In that single year, Chevrolet sold over 1 million Impalas across all body styles. This figure remains a staggering benchmark in automotive history, proving that this specific model year was a genuine cultural phenomenon. The driving force behind this explosion in popularity was the masterful styling by Irv Rybicki. He managed to evolve the design rather than reinventing it entirely, introducing simpler, cleaner lines that resonated instantly with the American public. The new look featured the famous Coke bottle profile and frameless curved side glass, which made the car look fast and modern even when parked. The Supersport model was a massive beneficiary of this success. It was not merely a niche performance option for a select few, it was a dominant force on the road. The fact that a full-size, performance-oriented vehicle could be part of a million-unit production run speaks volumes about the economic and industrial power of the era. It confirms that the 1965 Impala SS was not just a car for enthusiasts, but the definitive face of American motoring for the entire decade. Porcupine heads replaced the 409. The 1965 production run stands out as a pivotal moment in Chevrolet history because it bridged two distinct eras of horsepower. For the first few months of the year, buyers could still order the legendary 409 V8, the engine immortalized in song and drag racing lore. However, halfway through the production cycle, specifically in February, everything changed with the debut of the Mark IV 396 Big Block. This mid-year switch created a fascinating scenario where two completely different generations of heavy-hitting engines were available in the same model year, marking a rare overlap in automotive genealogy. The arrival of the 396 brought a significant technological leap known among enthusiasts as the Porcupine cylinder heads. This peculiar nickname described the innovative canted valve arrangement, where the valves were tilted at different angles rather than standing in a straight line. This design choice was not just for show. It drastically improved airflow and combustion efficiency compared to the outgoing W Series 409. Available in powerful 325 and 425 horsepower versions, this new architecture laid the groundwork for the future of Chevy muscle. While the 409 was a sentimental favorite, the 396 proved that the future belonged to the Mark IV, making the 1965 Impala SS the specific battleground where the old guard finally gave way to modern engineering. Factory style on steel wheels. When visualizing a high-performance muscle car from the mid-60s, the imagination often jumps to chrome aftermarket mags or heavy-duty rally wheels. However, the showroom reality for the 1965 Impala SS was often quite different and surprisingly elegant. Instead of expensive alloys, the factory frequently equipped these high-performance machines with standard steel wheels hidden beneath elaborate full-spinner SS hubcaps. These were not the utilitarian covers found on a taxicab spec sedan. They were highly stylized, polished components designed to be an integral part of the supersport visual identity. The inclusion of these spinners was a calculated move by Chevrolet to balance aggression with sophistication. The spinner design added a sense of forward motion and distinct flair that complemented the sleek new body lines of the coupe. On faithful restorations, such as a Danube Blue example fitted with Michelin Rainforce white wall radials, the presence of these original caps offers a more authentic window into the past than modern rim upgrades. It demonstrates how manufacturers in the Golden Age used bright work and intricate detailing to denote performance. These hubcaps were a cost-effective yet striking way to ensure that every one of the 250,000 SS buyers felt they were driving something special. It proves that the Impala SS was designed to be a gentleman's hot rod, prioritizing a polished, upscale presentation just as much as raw horsepower. Air suspension for heavy loads. Another significant feature of the car was its air suspension at the back, which helped drivers level the vehicle under heavy loads or with a trailer attached. This optional rear air suspension highlights Chevrolet's attention to practicality in the 1965 Impala SS. While the car is often celebrated for its V8 performance and stylish design, this system reveals that the SS was also engineered to handle real-world demands. The air shocks worked alongside the standard coil springs, providing additional support to maintain proper ride height when the car carried passengers, luggage, or a trailer. Without this system, the rear could sag under weight, affecting handling, braking balance, and even headlight alignment, which was a genuine concern for safety and drivability. This feature was particularly useful for owners who wanted both performance and utility, enabling the SS to function as a capable family cruiser or towing vehicle without compromising its sporty feel. The system likely allowed drivers to manually adjust air pressure, giving a temporary boost in stiffness and load-bearing capacity as needed. By blending hydraulic assistance with traditional suspension, Chevrolet ensured the car maintained stability, handling integrity, and comfort regardless of the load. The inclusion of air suspension underscores the 1965 Impala SS's dual role as a high-performance coupe and a versatile, full-size machine, showing that even performance-focused vehicles could be engineered with practical, everyday utility in mind. Exclusive timepiece for supersports. Stepping inside a genuine 1965 Impala SS reveals that the transformation from a standard family car to a performance icon was not limited to the engine bay. The interior received equal attention, anchored by the inclusion of sporty front bucket seats and a stylish, narrow center console. While the chrome floor shifter usually grabs the driver's attention, there is a smaller, often overlooked component nestled within that console that tells a deeper story of manufacturing precision. Chevrolet installed a clock that was designed exclusively for this specific version of the car. This was not a generic timepiece pulled from the General Motors parts bin to save money. It was a bespoke instrument, engineered to fit perfectly alongside the round SS badge within the unique dimensions of the console. In an era dominated by mass production and interchangeability, the decision to tool a specific clock for a single trim level is a surprising display of commitment. It demonstrates that the Supersport package was intended to be a cohesive, premium environment rather than just a sticker package. The placement of the clock between the seats shifted the focus to the center control stack, distinct from the standard dashboard layout found in lower trim models. For collectors today, finding one of these exclusive console clocks in working order is a rare treat, serving as a subtle but definitive signature of the genuine SS pedigree. Supersport for pocket change. When we look at the 1965 Impala SS, we see a vehicle that commands respect and high prices on the collector market. However, the history of that iconic Supersport badge reveals a surprisingly humble origin story. When Chevrolet first introduced the SS option on the Impala in 1961, it was not marketed as an exclusive bank-breaking performance tier. In a move that seems unbelievable by modern standards, the factory offered this upgrade for the incredibly low price of just $53.80. This specific price point is a fascinating detail that completely changes how we view the lineage of the car. At that time, the Supersport designation was essentially a high-value trim bundle rather than a dedicated separate model. It was designed to offer a taste of performance styling, such as unique badges and trim, to the widest possible audience. This low barrier to entry was a brilliant strategic move. It allowed everyday buyers to access the prestige of the SS logo without committing to a race-ready engine or a heavy-duty suspension. By keeping the initial cost so low, Chevrolet ensured that the Supersport name became a household staple almost overnight. This accessibility is exactly what paved the way for the 1965 model to become such a sales juggernaut. The massive fan base that lined up to buy the new perimeter frame coupe had been cultivated years earlier by that $50 bargain, proving that the legend of the SS was built on accessibility just as much as it was on horsepower. Originality trumps raw power. In the high-stakes world of collector cars, the common assumption is that value is strictly tied to horsepower. Most enthusiasts believe that if an Impala SS does not have a big block under the hood, it is not worth serious attention. However, current market trends for the 1965 model reveal that condition often matters far more than displacement. This is where the entry-level 283-powered coupes occupy a fascinating sweet spot for investors. These base model V80s are increasingly desirable when found in survivor status. A survivor is a rare machine that still sports its original factory paint and interior trim, having escaped the decades without restoration or modification. While the big block cars were often raced, wrecked, or heavily modified, the modest 283S were typically treated as gentle cruisers, leaving more of them intact today. Finding a clean, unmolested example in a desirable color like Nassau Blue can see values soar between $25,000 and $35,000. This pricing proves that collectors are willing to pay a premium for authenticity. These cars serve as essential historical benchmarks, showing exactly how the vehicle left the assembly line without the interference of modern restorers. It is a powerful reminder that for a true historian, an untouched factory artifact is just as exciting as a high-performance engine, validating the investment potential of even the most humble Supersport. Los Angeles Blue Interior Code. The cowl tag on a 1965 Impala SS provides a detailed snapshot of the car's original production specifications. For models built in the Los Angeles plant, one of the most specific details recorded is the interior trim code. In this case, the number 831 identifies the exact SS interior, blue vinyl bucket seats paired with a matching console. This code is a critical reference for collectors and restorers, as it confirms the factory-installed color and material, even if the car has undergone modifications over the decades. The SS interior package was distinct from standard Impalas, meaning the upholstery, seat arrangement, and trim were all specific to the Supersport designation. Beyond just color, this numeric code also helps authenticate the car as a true factory Supersport, linking it to the Los Angeles production facility. The cowl tag also lists the Fisher body unit number, which is unrelated to the VIN, but provides further verification of originality. Together, these details give a complete picture of how the car left the factory. For enthusiasts seeking to restore or verify a 65 SS, matching the interior to the 831 code ensures historical accuracy and preserves the vehicle's collector value. Frameless windows for sleek style. The stunning silhouette of the 1965 Impala SS relies heavily on a specific architectural choice that prioritizes style above all else. To achieve that fluid, uninterrupted profile, Chevrolet designers utilized frameless curved side glass. This was a significant departure from the upright, boxy cabins of previous years. By eliminating the heavy metal frames around the door glass and removing the central B-pillar, they created a true hardtop design that offered a panoramic, open-air feeling when the windows were rolled down. This design choice was carefully integrated with other major changes, including a much more steeply raked windshield that enhanced the aerodynamic look of the vehicle. The goal was to make the roofline appear to float above the body, creating a seamless flow from the front pillars to the rear deck. This visual lightness was made possible because the structural rigidity had been moved to the new full perimeter frame, which replaced the older safety girder X-frame. While this pillarless setup often resulted in slightly more wind noise compared to a sedan with full door frames, it was a calculated trade-off for the era's fashion. The result was a cabin that looked lighter and more expensive, mimicking the open feel of a convertible even with the steel roof permanently in place. This specific integration of curved glass and swoopy body lines is exactly what makes the 65 model feel like a modern sculpture compared to the rigid designs that came before it. From its humble beginnings as a $53 trim package to the meticulous interior details like a bespoke super sport clock and the exact Los Angeles blue vinyl code, the 1965 Impala SS proves that prestige and performance were built into every corner of the car. The frameless curved side glass added a sweeping, sculptural profile, blending style with structural innovation in ways few would notice at first glance. Even the entry-level 283 powered Survivors show that originality can outweigh raw horsepower when it comes to collector value. These details, whether hidden in the center console, stamped on the cowl tag, or visible in the flowing hardtop lines, tell a story of Chevrolet's dedication to blending design, performance, and accessibility. Together, they reveal why the 1965 Impala SS remains an enduring symbol of American automotive ingenuity, where small, precise choices created a machine both timeless and surprisingly sophisticated.